Greetings, Namo Buddhaya. I am KTS Sarao, former professor and head of the Department of Buddhist Studies, Delhi University. In this module number 28, I shall be talking to you about the origin and growth of pilgrimage in Buddhism in India. Most of the religious traditions attach spiritual importance to specific sites that are associated with different events in the lives of important personalities of these religious traditions. Devotees visit these sites to get a share in the spirituality of these sites. In other words, pilgrimage is a devotional journey to a place which is imbued with spiritual powers. It has been mentioned in the traditional legends relating to the Buddha's biography that his mortal remains were divided into 8 equal parts. Thereafter, memorial stupas were built over each of these portions. These stupas, along with many chaityas, that is Buddhist shrines, developed into centers of pilgrimage where devotees started coming to earn merit. The most striking feature of pilgrimage as a physical act is the movement of a pilgrim in earthly space. Thus, if the pilgrimage spot is closer to the residence of the pilgrim, the movement is short term and short distance. Interestingly, it is believed that the merit accrued from pilgrimage gets enhanced if, besides the long distance and time taken, it involves undergoing and overcoming difficult situations. Thus, the arduous journey and the accompanying hardships and perils undergone by a pilgrim on the way bring equally greater merit. In other words, the spiritual and physical endurance presented by the journey is perceived as directly proportional to the merit making and the alleviation of sin. Thus, mishaps, extremities of weather including sub-zero temperatures, snowstorms, bitter cold, blazing sun, bad roads, devastating landslides, avalanches, flooding, torrential rains, turbulent rivers, swept away bridges, hunger and thirst, dangerous passes over high ranges, and occasional attacks by bandits and wild animals are generally seen as enhancing the value and merits of pilgrimage. In other words, natural and man-made hardships are perceived as instruments that help in cleansing the mind and the body of a pilgrim. Thus, for obvious reasons, a genuine pilgrim is expected to choose a more prolonged and arduous route. Parikrama, also called pradakshina, to go around keeping the object of reverence on the right side, is an important component of Buddhist pilgrimage. In fact, for most pilgrims, the ritual pradakshina is the central activity of their pilgrimage. The rituals followed by the pilgrims while doing the pradakshina are prostrations, offerings, and the recitation of verses and mantras. Parikrama by prostration, Sashtang Dand Pradakshina, is a powerful way of showing devotion. For some pilgrims, the primary intention of their visit is to venerate the sacred place and to receive the darshan. The term darshan means seeing and or having a spiritual communion with the Buddha or the Buddhist saint who is supposed to be resident through his relics or in the form of an image, statue or icon in a temple's inner sanctum or in an open-air shrine. In the Mahaparinirvan Suttant of the Digha Nikaya, the Buddha is mentioned as telling his chief disciple Ananda that there are 4 places which a devout person should visit and look upon with reverence. These 4 places, which became known as the Chatur Mahapratihārya or the 4 great wonders, are Lumbini, the spot of the birth; Uruvela, the spot where he attained enlightenment, now known as Bodh Gaya; Mrigadav, that is the deer park on the outskirts of Varanasi, now known as Sarnath, where he delivered his first sermon; and Kushinagar, the place where the Buddha attained his nirvana. The Buddha's exhortation to members of his organization to travel made pilgrimage an abiding practice for the Buddhists. The inscriptions of Emperor Ashoka mention him as having given up war in favor of peace and pilgrimage in the 3rd century BCE. In the later commentarial tradition, 4 other sites are also raised to a special status because the Buddha had performed a certain miracle at each of these 4 places. All the 8 sites are now collectively known as the Ashtamahapratiharyas, that is the 8 great wonders. The last 4 of these 8 places are Shravasti, Rajgraha, Sankasya, now Sankissa, and Vaishali.